tell people I am a CNA, I am usually met with laughter and the phrase, "So you wipe wrinkly old butts all day?" People often think of my job as a joke. They pity me and think better you than me. And while better you than me may seem like a cutting slight to me and my profession, it has become my mantra. In fact, it is better me than them. Being a CNA is more than wiping, bathing, and feeding people. It is about comforting. It is about respect. It is about service. Being a CNA wasn't always a goal of mine. It was always more of a step on my journey to a glorious medical profession. However, since starting, I realized that I underestimated the importance of the job that most people think revolves around gloves and wipes. It is not just a step. It is a critical career in itself that is of utmost importance. Working as a CNA is a complex, challenging, and incredibly rewarding experience. I will explain my perspective on how every day at work is unique, how demanding and challenging this career is, and the traits I have learned. Being a CNA is a complex profession that varies from day to day. Some days, walking on the floor is a joyful experience. A positive vibe is in the air, and life is buzzing. Residents are active and involved with bingo or cards with smiling faces. The next shift is a whole new crowd of people. During flu season, everyone is coughing and miserable. Never-ending call lights are blaring like sirens in the back of my head. You may answer one light, but 3 more turn on to replace it. No 2 days on the floor share the same circumstances, situations, or residents. A personal experience I had over the summer was experiencing my first passing. When walking on the floor that morning, I expected nothing more than a normal day. Upon entering the room to check on a resident, I found him limp and not breathing. As I went in closer, I observed his skin fading to a dull mustard yellow and foam surrounding his mouth. My heart dropped to the floor and I knew something was wrong. I stood frozen in my tracks, unsure of what to do. After getting the nurse and confirming he was gone, I felt numb. As my partner and I were preparing his body for the family, I felt dirty and unnatural. I felt as though I could feel his body moving, like a last attempt to stay, and I felt that he would instantly snap awake. I spent the rest of that shift in a state of mind which cannot be described by words. A piece of me left my body that day, as if he had taken a piece of me with him. Working as a CNA is a mentally and challenging profession. The toughest mental challenges I have faced are getting emotionally attached to the residents and feeling burnt out. Spending immeasurable time with the residents in such personal, intimate manner creates a deep bond of trust and security. You form relationships and begin to feel like a family. It is both joyous and heartbreaking when a resident recovering from an injury is stable enough to go home. Goodbyes are overbearing and it is easily one of the toughest aspects of the job. In the medical world, feeling burned out is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. Working back-to-back shifts with minimal sleep in between creates extreme fatigue. Over the summer, waking up at 4 a.m. and working 8+ hours a day drastically slowed me down. In my downtime, I was only sleeping, attempting to compensate for missed hours, and I would cancel plans often. It was hard at times to roll out of bed and not feel the urge to call in for some extra sleep. Being a CNA is a very active and physical job. You are assisting residents in transferring and literally bending over backwards for the needs of others. Being understaffed adds extra work and stress onto the typical load. The combination of being overworked and underappreciated contributes to a mentality of giving up. The vision as to why the career was chosen in the first place is lost, and the world may seem like it's caving in. I may be complaining a lot throughout this speech about the hardships of this career, but it's honestly the most rewarding thing I have experienced this far in my life. The emotions involved with this job are incomparable to that of any other workplace. There are innumerable traits that I have discovered about myself for this job. I have learned how to be compassionate to all those I interact with. All stages of life circle through the nursing home, whether it becomes their permanent home or just a stop on the road to recovery. They are all alike in the eyes of a CNA. You develop personal relationships with them and act not as strangers but as family. You see many milestones, both good and bad, in the residents' lives and are the support system for many whose families no longer visit. Observing the impact you have on others' lives fills you with confidence and delight. You gain a tremendous amount of respect for the residents and also the profession overall. You respect your coworkers more than a traditional job because you relate to their feelings and experience similar situations. You learn to respect boundaries because every situation differs, and you try to empathize with how the residents may be feeling. An important quality that I learned over the months is attention to detail. Everything is constantly changing, and it is important to know the particular details. You notice every microscopic shift throughout work and can easily catch when something is wrong. Close attention to detail is an important trait for someone in the healthcare system. A CNA is a key part of the healthcare staff as they spend countless hours with the patients and are the first to observe any changes. You become very particular in all aspects of your life, and it is an important quality to carry with you. Although working as a CNA may be complex and challenging, it also provides many rewarding outcomes. I hope that my words leave you with a newfound gratitude for the caregivers who are looking after the ones you love. After all, it is better me than them. And some articles that I used to help me with my research was Burnt Out as a Nursing Assistant, Why Become a CNA, Top 10 Benefits, and 20 Reasons to Choose a Career as a CNA.